when there's a positive vortex, when two ley lines cross, they create a positive vortex. And it has a height. And I do believe they could measure that height, how tall that energy is. And so what they do is I think, or they could see it perhaps, I don't know, they were much more in tune with energy at that time, or they could measure it somehow with dowsing sticks or rods or something, is that they could see how high a building had to be, yeah, to keep the resonance, the frequency. So if they could capture it, and then people would sit in it, people would sing in it, people would pray in it, the energy of healing was much stronger. Yeah. So I do believe it's something similar with the pyramids, because the Druids and high priests and priestesses of the mystery schools of Egypt, it's said that they all were connected with each other. And there were Druid circles found in Egypt. I mean, there were statues of Isis found in France, in England. So I do believe there was communication between all these cultures. People always think Druids, that was like German tribes. They were not cultured, but I don't believe any of that. So I do believe that the pyramids were probably similar, right? That there was the height was connected, I think, with the crossing of ley lines. Yeah. And of course, as we say, as above, so below, or so below, as above, right? Perhaps they were also indeed, and there's many studies about it, that they are aligned with the Orion, I would say, part of the Milky Way, So I would say, yes, they were probably all aligned to connect with that energy. But I do feel it's all about consciousness and awareness. And so that there were people, even in older cultures or ancient cultures, that were more advanced in consciousness, and they knew the information. And then there was the public, right, they want to uplift them, right? So they brought these people into these cathedrals, into the pyramids, into the palaces, to uplift the vibration. Yeah, because when we uplift the vibration, we are more knowledgeable, we're more creative, we are more evolving. Like literally, we're inspired evolution is happening at that moment in these places, right? Because it's like, I remember when I was young, we would have a local church, right? That church was just built like 100 years old. So it was not on ley lines. Yeah, they had probably no idea about it. But then I remember going to a cathedral in my town, what was from the 12th century. That was definitely based on that information. There are ley lines there. If I was there, I came out of that cathedral, I was inspired. I was like more in connection with God, right? So I do believe that these places were places of inspired evolution for humanity. Yeah, that humanity evolved from being on this kind of places by having, teachers, by rulers, governments that were on such a place, that perhaps had, I would say, more awareness of how to evolve and lead their public and their people forward. But we don't need to depend on them anymore, right? So we are in a different time, in an Aquarius time. In the Piscean time, of course, we depended on these rulers and these, spiritual leaders, because we were probably not ready for that. But we are now in the Aquarius time, where I do believe our home can be from such a high frequency that we don't have to go into a church if we don't need to. We can still go. Of course, there are amazing places. If you want to visit that and you're religious and spiritual, please go and enjoy that. But we don't need to anymore. We can have that high frequency, even if we don't have a dome. But if you cure everything with dowsing, if you activate everything with feng shui, you can go to the same level of frequency as you would go to a church or being on Stonehenge. That's the whole plan of my work.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.